Alright, real quick, if you are a fan of my content, make sure to check out all the links in the description to support the channel. You can either Cash App, PayPal. I also restarted Patreon. Definitely check that out. It has a couple tiers with amazing perks, and my memberships on my YouTube just got revamped. I cheapened everything so that more and more people can support, as well as I sweetened the deals to make sure you guys get the most out of it. So if you want to support through that way, make sure to check it out, as well as check out my free public Discord server if you want to join up, talk comics, and have a good time. And without further ado, let's begin. So, this video has to come first, right? I did watch Shang-Chi yesterday, and I'm going to do MCU Cap vs. Shang-Chi Complete War, but I promised you guys a Goon video before I did that. And what better character to do a Goon video on than perhaps one of the gooniest to ever step foot in comics, Dr. Victor Von Doom. Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna give you a background on Dr. Doom, like who he is, and then I'm gonna go over some of my favorite Goon moments. With a character like this, not all of them will make it in this video, so if you run up to likes to like, I don't know, 450, I'll drop a part 2 Doom Goon video. Okay, so 450 likes, and we'll do that. But anyways, let's begin. So, who is Doom? Doom is the rightful ruler of Latveria, his own country, as well as his mom, given her mystic ties. He is a user of the mystic arts, and overall is the op to the Fantastic Four, as Reed Richards is his intellectual rival. And Dr. Doom, in his escapades as one of the more dominant figures in comics, has always strided to be the king and has literally become God before. So let's get into some of his gooniest moments and some of my personal favorites that I thought were hilarious. Number one, he ran off on the plug when it came to Silver Surfer, robbed that hoe of his power. So he saw Silver Surfer and he was like, yo, this dude has mad potential. He just jobs. Like, he's a jobbing ass bitch, but he is strong. So he hit up his minions, and he was like, yo, we're going to bring Surfer in. Brought in Surfer, started confusing Surfer with big words. Then he had his homies jump Surfer, drained his power, and Surfer was like, yo, you don't understand, with the power cosmic, you could, like, blow up a galaxy. And Dr. Doom was like, shut up, bitch, and, like, slapped him away and ran off and did hood rat stuff with Silver Surfer's power. Anytime Surfer takes an L, I'm here for it, and I love the way Dr. Doom went about that. Number two, one of the godliest moments in comics. I don't care, don't at me. His interaction with Luke Cage over some money he owed Luke. So if you didn't know, classic Doom was kind of racist. He always has like racial undertones, and just basically he's if you ain't from Latveria, baby, he don't care about you. But getting into this, what happened was some of his people or Doombots defected, right, and went to the hood. And they became hood robots. And so he was basically like, yo, Luke Cage, I can't go to the hood. It's going to stand out. I'm white. So you got to do it. Luke does it, right? But when he comes back, he didn't get paid. Dr. Doom left and told the dude at the hotel or whatever to tell Luke he ain't paying him. So Luke pulled up to Latveria and they scrapped, and Doom's like, I'm still not paying, bitch. Eventually he does pay to get Luke to go away. Because Luke, if you owe Luke Cage money, his scaling increases infinitely. It's absurd. He was beating up everyone in that comic for a few $100s. But yeah, he tried to stiff Luke on the check and started like an international crisis over it. It was godly. Number three. Oh man, this is one of his best trash talking moments. So there was a point in time when, of course, the multiverse and the universe itself was under threat of collapse, right? And it's sensical in that moment for any parent to want to talk to their kid and like express their, you know, if we don't make it, I love you, like I'm, you know, this is goodbye, right? So Reed's doing that with his daughter and his kids. And Doom goes, you are a weak-willed father. Oh my god, what an ass. Yeah, he literally, like, we're threatened with the end of existence. So it's reasonable to say bye to your kids. And Doom saw that as weak. That shit, oh man, that shit just cut through a deep moment, and it was comedy. Next up, this is personally probably in my top 3 for Doom moments. So there is a situation in which Neymar got into some shit involving threats to the universe, and eventually he's like, yo, I need help. He went for help to the wrong source, and he comes to Dr. Doom and tells him his situation, right? And he's like, yo, I need your help. And Doom goes, sorry dog, I can't. And Neymar's like, bro, like, all of reality is threatened if you don't help me. And Doom says, yeah, but nobody picks Doom second on the team. He literally was like, dude, I'd rather universe burn before I get picked second, bitch. I'm the GOAT. And it was one of the most ignorant things I've ever seen in comics. And it goes to show how high of an opinion Doom has of himself. Next, we have one of his biggest asshole moments. He should have got beat up for this. Probably should have died for this, but he didn't because he's Dr. Doom. So there was a situation, one of the most, in my opinion, like crazy supposed death moments in comics, where Johnny Storm faced off against like the Annihilation Wave and self-detonated, right? And this tore Ben Grimm apart because he wasn't able to save his best friend. And Doom, the next time he sees them, was like, yo, Ben, we smoking on that Johnny Pack, my guy. And Ben was ready to fight. Because he was like, yo, Ben, I thought you were a hood rat. Like, I thought you rode for the homies. Where's your dead homie? Why ain't you save him? Like, I'm talking about the most hurtful trash talk you could talk. Ben was ready to fight. Sue Storm stepped in. This is how crazy of a trash talker Dr. Doom is. He got Sue Storm to threaten to turn him into a vegetable by putting a bubble in his head because he was talking crazy. That, like, F in the chat for hating on him being a godly trash talker. She was really about to get out of character and commit a fucking like the most brutal of fatalities to Dr. Doom. Next, we have the weapons he keeps in his hood. So if you didn't know this, it's super hard to pull up on Latveria and just solo it. Literally, Dr. Doom in his castle, in his domain, has weapons specifically designed to like body Galactus type characters. Like, he's forever ready at his home turf for some crazy shit to go down and for him to have to prepare for it. So don't be surprised if you just see a comic where randomly Doom has like an outerversal weapon chilling on his damn dining room table. That's how he moves. That's how gangsters get down. And Doom is notorious for like having just random, especially in the old comics, having random superpowered weapons just laying around. Next, we actually know that Thanos is wary of Dr. Doom, like essentially keeps an eye on Dr. Doom because Dr. Doom is one of the most capable characters in comics. If he wants to mess your life up, he's probably going to pull it off. So because of that, even high tier characters like Thanos, who's a goon himself, has to keep an eye on Dr. Doom. One point, about every other decade or a decade or so, Doom's gonna basically become a god. That's like how it is in Marvel Comics now. It's like, it's inevitable. Like Doom, his drive, his ability in the mystic arts and science allows him to steal high tier shit and to do high tier shit. And he's been god on a couple occasions. So literally, it's to be expected at this point that we're gonna get a god Doom. Like, he's always striving for godhood because he's a goon. And so you have had multiple storylines where he becomes a god. That's not many characters just do that just because they want to do that. So that's an absurd goon moment in and of itself. At one point, speaking of like god moments, he ran into Thanos, right? Thanos, let me rephrase that. Thanos ran into him. So Doom was on his goon shit, walking around, talking his shit. He's in God mode. Thanos runs up on him and starts talking shit like, shut up, mortal, you're a bitch. I ain't gonna bow down to you. And Doom's like, yo, big homie, you got the gauntlet, my guy? And Thanos was like, bitch, I don't need a gauntlet to handle you. And Doom was like, all right, give me your spine, pussy. And rips his spine out. Straight up tears his spine out. I think what he exactly said was like unfortunate or something. Something mad disrespectful. Basically like, if you ain't got a gauntlet, why the fuck you wasting my time? And tore his spine out. Just absolutely humiliating Thanos himself. Next, we have another disrespectful moment. This was when Doctor Doom ended up in Mephisto's realm. So usually when you end up in a Marvel Hellord's realm, that shit's difficult. Like, you're going to have a hard time because they're crazy. Well, this is what happened. He pulls up. Mephisto's like, yo, you belong to me now. Doom's response? Punch to the fucking mouth. He's like, get out of my face, bitch. I ain't owned by anybody. Doom starts literally mugging Mephisto in his own realm. Like, physically mauling him and making him like back off, and Mephisto's like, oh shit, like you just heard the mic muffle as he was getting his ass beat on the mic. It was horrible. Like it was such a disrespectful ass whooping. Like trying to enslave or take like the soul of Doom is like one of the worst ideas you could have, and it's gonna get your ass beat. Ask Mephisto about that shit. Next up, we have his Daredevil trolling shenanigans. So if you didn't know this, at one point, Doom dressed up as Daredevil and did Daredevil shit. Why? I think he was just showing off and just proving like he has hands, but like why would he do that? Like that's like Doctor Strange dressing up as like Moon Knight and going around beating people up. Like Doom just does so much unnecessary shit back in the day that it's comedy. But yeah, if y'all didn't know this, Doctor Doom is a legitimate martial artist. Like he really can fight, and he was like proving he could mimic Daredevil. It was hilarious. Next up, we have one of his most badass moments. Goon moment for sure, but it's also badass. So at one point there was a group of mad celestials. I believe it was 4 in total. They pulled up. Richard's daughter needed more time to prep. She was doing something. I forgot exactly what she was doing, but she was doing something. She needed more prep to basically like salvage the day. And Doom was like, all right, look, dog, how long you need? And she was like, what? And he was like, how long you need? I'll buy you some time. And she was like, with mad celestials? And he's like, yeah, well, how much do you need, dog? And she was like, I don't know, just buy me time. Bro went out there and started brawling. Just like holding off 4 mad celestials in his Gucci mink coat. He was like, what's up, bitch? You ain't coming in here. And held them off. That's ridiculous. The absurdity of his magical defenses in that moment when he had to hold it down for the set. Like that was ridiculous. And Doom was wilding. Just being able to hold off 1 would be crazy, but he held off 4, which is absolutely insane. Next, we have that time he had to explain to Neymar why Doom is always on his high tier based shit. Like eats first before everyone, gets the best shit, all that, right? Neymar's questioning this and Doom's like, look, no question about it. I'm a man of my people. But you gotta remember, they're my people. That is, I'm the big dog. I do everything around here. I hold it down. I make sure everyone's safe. I make sure we prosper. All that. So guess what? They all know I eat first. I eat the best. I get the best shit because I'm the GOAT. And he was like, Neymar, you used to remember that shit. You used to act like that. You used to be a king like that. But you don't move like that no more. You're not a gangster like that. Oh, man. And Neymar just like had to put his head down like, damn, I'm really getting bossed up on right now. Yeah, but Doom had to boss up on him. And it was pretty funny to me because obviously it's kind of messed up how, you know, he's saying everyone's inferior to him. But it's funny the way he defends his positions because they're kind of logical low-key. Next up, we have him surviving a beef with one of the most dangerous gangs in all of fiction. Yes, I'm talking about the Yancy Street Gang. This dude pulled up to beef with Ben Grimm because he hates Fantastic Four and like killed a Yancy Street kid. A kid died because of the stuff Doom was doing. And so the gang's like, yo, Ben, we don't give a damn if you're riding up and pulling up on whoever did that shit. We're pulling up. So they pull up. They start scrapping Doom bots with Ben Grimm. So, and then Doom pulls up. And he's like, yo, fuck Yancy Street. And he tries to kill them all. and they manage to escape. But just like the fact that he's willing to beef with kids just to get back at Big Grim is crazy. Like, classic Doctor Doom was a wild time. Like, that was just wild days and wild shit, and it was pretty funny to read. By the way, comment down below if you want a Yancy Street Gang Goon video. I would be more than happy to do that. Next, we have him. I think this is kind of an underrated moment. Basically, he was scheming on IG Thanos. He's like, yo, run the gauntlet, bitch. I need those gems. I could do a lot of nice things with those. This eventually pisses off Thanos. Thanos blasts him with the gauntlet. Doom does get some of his suit burned off, but he gets up and he's like, yo, bitch, I'm still going to rob you eventually. I was like, oh my God. Like, the fact he just tanked the gauntlet and, like, got up and was pissed and was talking about still robbing the dude that just shot him with the gauntlet, that's pretty goony. And I think it's a pretty slept on Doctor Doom Goon moment. Next, we have another disrespectful Doom moment. He pulled up to a conference in which, you know, it's a bunch of... It's hard to call them villains because sometimes they're anti-heroes, but there was villains there. They're doing hood rat shit. Unavoidable. But they don't trust each other, right? So when he arrives, Emma Frost starts trying to read Big Doctor Doom's mind. And he looks over at her and he's like, yo, what are you doing? And she's like, what? And he's like, I know your jobber ass is not trying to mind hacks me. Like, there's no way you're dumb enough to think you possibly qualify to achieve such things. And she, like, it was so, he genuinely seemed offended. She thought that she scaled to him, or that she, like, the audacity of that move by her, that, like, she didn't really know how to respond. Like, it was a tense situation because Doom's like, you have some nerve trying to step to me. And it was funny because, like, she is... okay, Emma Frost is a jobber, but she is known for having, like, pretty big moments as a potential mega-level mutant. So the fact that he just casually, like, told her to kick rocks was comedy. Next up, we have one of his craziest power moments, and that is his duel with Marquee of Death, and him eventually finishing off Marquee of Death. If you don't know, Marquee of Death was one of the craziest characters we've seen in Marvel Comics. I actually made a video on him, and I think I did him versus Chaos King. Marquee of Death was like a casually multiversal threat, and that's why a lot of people compare him to Chaos King. Doom finished him off, right? And then he talked to, I think it was Ben Grimm he was talking to. He was like, anyone that wants to beef with Big Doom wants to deal with death. And when you feel like dealing with that, pull up to Latveria, pussy. And he leaves. He was like, you want the ass whooping? Here's the Addy. Pull up. And, oh my God, it was such a bar. And it just shows how, like, immaculate Doctor Doom's trash talk is in crazy situations. Like, he always knows what to say, and it's comedy. Next, we have... some of the shit he did as a god, right? Like, you couldn't tell him shit in his god days. He didn't need friends, you know. He was like Orlando Brown with it. He had God.
Yeah. Now I know why he ain't got no family.
What?
Get the fuck away from here, nigga.
I got God!
And then you see what he does with this power. It's some of the messed up stuff he did. Like, he took an army of Thors. Thor, one of the most respected gods in Marvel Comics. And he made them basically mall cops. They were his mall cops. And then he took Ben Grimm, one of my favorite characters, but this is still funny because of how goony it is, turned him into a wall only Trump could conceive or dream of. And he turned Ben Grimm, one of his biggest ops, into a literal wall. Absolute disrespect to one of his easiest top goon moments. Next, we have the fact that, like, the Hood loves him. This seems to confuse everyone, which in itself makes it goony, is like how crazy Doom is. Beef he always starts with people, the messed up shit he does. Despite all this, his Hood loves him. They ride for Doom. They're like, no, Doom's the man. Like, yeah, sure, we're oppressed, sure, this and that, but we know we don't take L's because we have the GOAT. So it's like that kind of energy. The fact that Doom's not completely hated by everyone, a lot of times it confuses the shit out of people because he's a horrible person. But it makes his adventures comedy, and it makes his status as a ruler and like his place in the verse very interesting. Next, we have one of his funnier like old moments when in classic comics, where he explained how he always kept a spare weapon, a spare plan to save Earth if Doctor Doom is not enough to save it. Because if Doctor Doom can't save it, there's only one person that can. And who is that? Doctor Doom, bitch. He made a second Doctor Doom to be broken out of its container in case they needed an extra Doctor Doom to get the job done and save Earth. That's how confident he is in the drip. He's like, yo, the best possible thing if one Doom's not enough is two. So in case of an emergency, break out the other Doom and we'll get the W. Godly moment. Next was when he won a debate with a god. What do I mean by this? This was so disrespectful. Pulls up on Wakanda and hops in VC, hops in Discord with Bass the Panther God, and is like, yo, I'll debate you on if I'm the GOAT and if your country should surrender power to me and like all that mystic shit and all the vibranium, all that. Like, I should get it all. And Bass is like, dude, no, like, you're crazy. Get out of here. He's about to hit him with the ban button. Doom wins the debate. Doom convinces Bast that he is the best chance for like Earth to prosper and therefore for Wakanda to prosper. Bast gives him power. Absurd. This led, of course, to controversial moment where Panther renders vibranium useless and all that. Because if y'all didn't know, in comics, vibranium like amps magic. But, I wonder if they're going to do that in MCU with Peter Parker when they showed that magic suit. But that's for another video. Anyways, getting back on topic. This was a crazy moment because literally Bast is supposed to be on the same pantheon as like the Phoenix Horse. So it's pretty crazy. Next, we had a pretty funny exchange between him and Spider-Man. In which Spider-Man was like talking shit about how Doom had lost with ultimate power before like a cosmic cube would give you or an infinity gauntlet. And Doom was like, all right, bet. Next time I get some shit, your ass is getting erased. He was like, yo, Spider-Man, you're annoying. You're getting erased expeditiously. And the fact he did that and the fact he said that and the fact I'm not the biggest Spider-Man fan was super funny. So I had to throw it on the list. But it was a great exchange. Spider-Man does have good exchange with characters. Next was one of his wild or controversial statements he made. Was it racist? Of course it was. Let's talk about it. Do we cancel Doom after this? You tell me in the comments. So Doom was arguing with Black Panther and he was like, you know what? You impressed me, T'Challa, you know? I was always told Africans were superior physical specimens. And Panther goes, Doom, please don't tell me you're about to say, but Africans are dumb. And Doom said, that's exactly what I heard. Yeah, cancel him. But then he doesn't stop there, though. He goes, but you Wakandans are smart. So you would think, like, maybe that was just like a weird kind of like racist, old white guy type vibe comment. Like trying to compliment, but it was kind of racist. But he doesn't stop there, too. He keeps going again. And he goes, yeah, you Wakandans must be mutants. Like, the only way y'all could be this athletic and smart is if you were a mutant. So you gotta have mutant DNA. No way an African could be like... I was like, oh my... Doom, shut up. Doom, oh man, do we cancel Doom? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, that was a wild-ass moment. He has a lot of statements like that, but that was crazy. Next, we have... him tanking the gauntlet as God Emperor Doom. Black Panther got the Infinity Gauntlet. I'm not going to lie to you. This was a moment in the comic where I personally thought, I was like, oh my God, this is about to be the moment for Panther. Like, Panther's about to get the job done and finish him. That's not what happens. Doom tanks it. Absurd moment. It was like a wild ass power flex. And the fact he was just tanking everything at that point, he was like, yeah, get off me, bitch. I survived. It was a crazy, crazy moment. Now, final moment for the video. If you haven't liked it, At this point, please hit the like button. Love y'all so much, but let's talk about it because it's one of my favorites. Because he was talking to, I think it was Spider-Man. Spider-Man's always saying dumb shit. Spider-Man goes, yo. He was debating somebody. He goes, yo, on this topic, my homie over there can speak to us. Yo, Vic, fill in, like, let him know. Let him know the vibes. And Doom looks back at him and he goes, Spider-Man, I need you to understand that we keep a horrible, horrible torture chamber type place for people that use my government name and refer to me like that in the street, bitch. Don't ever call me Vic again. He's like, and it showed. He has a torture chamber specifically for people that call him by his real name. He don't like that shit. Don't do that shit. Call him by his street name. Doom, bitch. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this Goon video. 450 likes. I'll do a part 2 to Dr. Doom's Goon moments because he has a countless amount of them throughout Marvel Comics. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Do you think Doom is one of the goats of the goons in comic books in general? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please support by reaching out either through Patreon, my YouTube memberships that are updated, or Cash App and PayPal. If you can, that would be amazing. If you can't, show love with the likes and subscriptions. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. It's been your boy, YFV, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.